get ready to die. Oh, that was quick. Let's see if I make it this time. Oh, just barely. You can see in my slow pan here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the central area of level 12, which really marks the beginning of when I started feeling more confident about my design and started feeling more excited about doing levels for this, and like there was, you know, it was going somewhere. I don't actually know, you know, if the levels from this point on are better than some of the earlier ones really, but I do know that like at the time I felt better about them. Actually, this is the stupidest area of the level that I just entered right now. I can't really explain to you my my philosophy of decorations of this room. It's quite mysterious and stupid. I don't know. Don't try to think too hard about it, I guess. I like the shape of this room. Yeah, there's some really stupid and mysteriously bad rooms in this level and the next one, despite them being pretty decent. This one feels kind of like a castle to me. I don't really know exactly how, like, why I think it's better, or why I thought it was better at the time, why I like felt better about it, because I don't know, it's just hard to have that kind of perspective, and you know, there's no way to know how different it will feel like to someone playing. But I do know that this was the point where I started to feel better about it. And wandering around, this is actually fairly empty level, and the areas you're required to go are both of the are right next to each other, and then the rest of the level you're just not required to go to at all. But maybe there's something to the fact that like every area is connected back to the central area that makes it, you know, feel better to play, or that it just makes it feel more connected to each other and not as linear as the last one, which is kind of the exact opposite. Even though the first room is just 3 doors, like each part of that level is not really connected to itself at all, and this one is maybe kind of the opposite of that. Yeah, and that entrance with the SS guys is like, someone could basically get an end game, because like if they're playing on I Am Death Incarnate, let's say, they save, you know, they kill the guards at the end of level 11 in the elevator, and they start the new level, you know, thinking there's no way those guards would be alive, but no, for some reason they're magically alive even if you killed them. And you know, if you save right at the beginning, let's say you save right before you're about to die, then you're dead. And you know, unless you run very fast and get kind of lucky, you might not make it out of there, so you might lose all your lives and get a game over. So you can just basically end the game right there. It's a horribly cheap, horrible thing to do. And there's really no justification for it, but I don't know. I won't defend choices that I made when I was 14. It's just, it is what it is. This is some weird, long, hall, interconnected area that was just done to surround the inner part of the castle, or whatever you want to call it, that you actually have to go to get the key. Maybe it's a reference to, there's an area in episode 4, level 8, that has those columns and red brick. So it might be a reference to that. I think that's at least the biggest thing. That's what I thought of when I was doing it. Maybe a few levels in episode 1 or episode 3, although I didn't really think that wasn't really, I guess that wasn't really intentional at the time, so who knows. I think that guy was facing the wrong direction. I did that sometimes. In the editor, it's like, unless you like edited the map files, like sometimes the symbols for the guards for facing particular directions, like you had to move your mouse over to see. It was just like an S, even so if they were moving or standing or whatever direction they're facing, it was just an S, like for an SS card. So I changed them eventually, but there were still some issues surrounding that, which is really stupid when you think about it. It's an error that's completely defined by not having clear symbols in the map editor. I like that those doors connect each side of the room. They don't really serve a purpose, they're just there. Why the hell not? This room would be too boring otherwise, so I had to put that there, you know. I get angry whenever I get shot in the face. Try to play with a guard. Usually that happens when I try to mess with the guards, as is what happens a bunch in the next playthrough where I just act like an idiot. I think I'm looking for health here. I don't like... This is a level that I think felt like the different areas weren't separate to me or something. Like it all felt connected to itself, and I don't know, I can't explain why I liked making it at the time, because I couldn't really explain why I thought it was better. Oh, this texture hasn't been used before. It's a pretty cool texture, and I'm sad that I didn't use it more. It's from Spear of Destiny. I just was too afraid of doing too many weird things to start out, I guess. I don't know. Even after doing, like, you know, I somehow was not aware of the fact that I had... Oh my god, I died. I somehow was not aware of the fact that I had previously done a level where you have to fight 2 Hitlers. Like, I don't understand. All of a sudden I was, you know, it was serious, and this was a serious wolf mod, and I had to take it seriously. And it's just interesting, my like level of commitment to it and my sort of changes of attitude, because there are some like glitchy levels like that secret level, but there's later on, but they're all very self-contained. There's only a couple of them, and mostly the levels are pretty serious and consistent in terms of theme. They're less like weird little strange things or jokes or whatever you want to call them, although there are still some. But I don't know, I sort of look back on it with ambivalence in a way, but at the same time, you know, if it meant something to me at the time, it must mean something now. That must have rubbed off in some way. Otherwise, no, I just feel like, I don't know, it's weird. It was weird because I think I felt like, you know, whenever something felt like another Wolfenstein level, maybe I thought it was good, and when it wasn't, maybe it didn't. But at the same time, maybe there was something there, and I'm just not seeing it with clear eyes because, you know, it was something that I did. I don't know how I'd react to it. You know, would I like go back and say like, oh yeah, this is where it starts getting good? Or would I just like look at it and think, oh, this is kind of a mixed bag throughout, you know? there are some interesting things and some stupid things, and I wouldn't make those sort of, I wouldn't make those distinguishing things that seemed so obvious and intuitive to me, that there was a, marked improvement. And, maybe I didn't think about context enough, how you're playing this level after you played, like level 9, for example, or whatever. What does that mean, This area feels almost kind of realistic in a way. I mean, I would buy that it exists at least more so than any other place that I've done previously, with a few exceptions. Of course, I woke up all the guards in the big area so you don't get to see them moving around, which I was disappointed by. But so I just mass killing spree in the bedroom, I guess. In the barracks. Yeah, I guess this is supposed to be a barracks area. This again, if it feels more realistic, it must be good, right? But what does that mean? Maybe it is more of a cohesive environment, and it feels like something. And there are sort of like little touches of surrealism that poke through. But what does that mean in the context of the other levels? This is so frustrating to move through if you don't have strafe on, and I do, but my controls for strafe are really frustrating, so I hardly use them because it doesn't integrate well with the using the mouse. So you can't really play it like you could, Doom or any other FPS really. I was thinking there was a secret here, but there wasn't. Yeah, I was proud of this key room, especially if you walk in and see all those guys moving around. Maybe it's a reference to episode 5. There's a few, episode 5, level 3. There's a part where you walk in and all these guards are just walking in a big circle, and all see you, at slightly delayed intervals. And it has this really cool effect. That's a neat level. It's a level that John Romero did. So this is the end area, which is just, I don't know how all those guards got caught there. That was probably bad placement on my part. But this just keeps winding around, and I've already woken up all the guards that are there. So you just keep going and going and going until you reach the inner sanctum of this area, which is maybe a little reminiscent of episode 6, level 1, the end area. And this is supposed to be, for the first time, really a direct progression into the next level, which I didn't really do very much of. So it's interesting that I did it here, where all of a sudden, you're in a little preview of what the next level will be. I don't know. Again, I guess it's something that I had just started thinking about and, seriously considering. And that maybe that's why I liked this level, because it was introducing things to me that I wasn't thinking about a lot before, or I just didn't do because I didn't think it was late enough in the level set or whatever. But anyway, stay tuned for level 13.